Tichle shana v'kililoteha, teichel shana uvirchoteha. May this past year, with its curses, come to an end, and may the new year, which is beginning now, bring blessings. This line from a 13th century Sephardic piyut, a beautiful liturgical poem written for Rosh Hashana, encapsulates our deepest prayers for a better future to begin now. This past year has certainly been one that has had a lot of curses. There's no other way to put it. More, I think, than in any other year in my lifetime. We felt curse. We felt tragedy. We felt disaster. And 2 weeks ago already, I wrote about trying to prepare for Rosh Hashana in this difficult time, trying to get up the ability to stand once again before God on the day of judgment. And I wrote then about how din and rachamim, judgment and mercy, which we often view as opposites, are really not. And how divine judgment and harsh judgment even, and divine mercy often paradoxically coexist. And how we've seen that this year as well, that amidst all of the curses, we've seen tremendous miracles, we've seen tremendous blessings. And that was 2 weeks ago, and as I was sending out that Dvar Torah, things started to change. That was the same day as the incredible exploding pager attack, which took out over 3,000 top terrorists in a single instant. It will go down in history as the most precise, pinpoint military attack ever, probably. And it was just the beginning. After that, Israeli intelligence and the Israeli army showing the abilities that were so sorely lacking on Simchat Torah last year, with divine assistance clearly restored to us. And we've been destroying systematically over the last 2 weeks all of Hezbollah's worst weapons, the ones that were posing an existential threat to Israel. We've been taking out dozens of top leaders at the time, 19 top terrorists killed in a single bombing less than 2 weeks ago. And this past Shabbat, the climax of it all, Hassan Nasrallah himself, Yamach Shemo v'zichro, our worst arch enemy perhaps, or at least one of our worst arch enemies, the one who has terrorized Israelis for decades, was killed by the Israeli army. And even after that, more top Hezbollah commanders have been killed. And there are rumors that other things are going on also that aren't yet clear exactly what. And I yesterday already said, I have to sit down and make a video Erev Rosh Hashanah and point this out and say shevach, say praise to God for allowing the blessings of the new year to begin even before the old year ends with its curses, showing us that Baruch Hashem, we're winning the war. And that's all true. And last night, once again, it got even more complicated. Last night, on short notice, we once again were sent to bomb shelters. Again, the sirens were wailing. Again, Iran launched close to 200 rockets that could have wreaked, God forbid, terrible destruction in Israel. Again, we were afraid. And again, we feared curses. And again, there was a great miracle. And again, we were saved. And again, those missiles were almost all knocked out of the sky. And Israelis escaped with some damage and a few minor injuries, and that's it. Once again, God showed his face and his mercy, and the divine blessing showered down on us. But there was also a news item that didn't get much attention because it was happening at the same moments. Literally, as the missiles were flying and were being swatted out of the sky by the Israeli defenses. In Tel Aviv, 2 terrorists armed with simple weapons managed to kill 7 Israelis and wound a bunch of others, some of whom are still seriously wounded in the hospital. Only 2 names have been released so far, both young women in their 30s. One, a young new mother who, with her own body, protected her 9-month-old child, saved his life as she was being murdered. The other, a young bride married just a year. And the other 5 names haven't even been released yet. And once again, we have to bury our brothers and sisters. And once again, we have funerals. And the curses are still here, even as the blessings are very, very clear as well. What do we do with all that? How do we go into Rosh Hashanah? I think that actually the events of these past weeks show us exactly what Rosh Hashanah is about. The shofar. The shofar, which is the main mitzvah of Rosh Hashanah. The shofar is 2 things simultaneously. First of all, it's a prayer. It's a prayer without words. It's a prayer that's just a cry, which can't be articulated in words because we don't really understand what to pray for, because we don't really understand what's going on, like the cry of a baby who just is in pain and doesn't understand why and doesn't understand what he needs because he doesn't understand the world. He just knows how to cry. The shofar represents the purest tefillah, where we just cry out to Hashem and we just say, help. We don't even know what to ask for, but we're crying out to you. That's one aspect of the shofar, the tefillah, the prayer. There's another aspect as well. The shofar is the trumpet with which we declare God as the King of the universe. And if there's one thing which this past year has taught us, it's that we are not in control. There's a Borei Olam, there's a Melech Malchei Amlachim, there's a King of Kings who rules the world. We, the Jewish people, are caught in the center of it all, as we always are. Huge things are happening. He is revealing himself in the world with his justice and his mercy at the same time. And as we know that these great things are happening around us, and we see that we're in the center of it, and we see that the redemption is coming closer, and that's yet another sign of the shofar. The shofar gadol, we'll talk about it in Musaf tomorrow. The shofar gadol, the great trumpet, the great shofar that announces the coming of the Messiah. It's all there. The deep cry of prayer, the crowning of God as the King, and the redemption that is approaching very, very clearly. It's swirling around us so fast that we can't fully understand it. Maybe even can't understand it at all. But with this, we go into Rosh Hashana. May this Rosh Hashana bring a k'tiva v'chatima tova. May we all be inscribed and sealed in the book of life. And may this indeed be the beginning of a blessed year. Techel Shana u'virchoteha. Shana Tova.